Good morning and welcome to the Utopian Cafe. It's Friday, October 8th. As always, we have Stan Phillips here. Stan is our regular guest on Fridays, and we're going to get to Stan here shortly. But we're going to, as you guys probably saw earlier this morning, we announced all the start times for the two series that are kicking off tomorrow. We have come down to our Final Four in the Utopian baseball universe. We call it the table. We've got the Toronto Blue Jays versus the Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds versus the San Diego Padres. So game times have been posted. Saturday's games will be at 8 a.m. Braves at Blue Jays. Blue Jays took 2 of 3 from the Braves earlier this season, so the Blue Jays have home field in this series. And then at 3 o'clock Saturday, we got Reds Padres. Reds have home field. They took 2 of 3 in April. And then Sunday's games, we have at 11 a.m. Reds Padres, and then 6:30 p.m. Sunday Braves Blue Jays. I gotta make sure that I'm making time for the NFL that day. So the NFL takes a little bit of precedence on the Sundays, but that's it. We're down to the Final Four: Blue Jays, Braves, Reds, and Padres. We have a 1 in 4 chance that we're getting a rematch from last year. So Stan Phillips, welcome. Good morning.
Thank you, Joey. Quick question. I'm not sure if this has ever been answered. Why do you call the Final Four the table?
I don't know. I wanted it to be different. One of the things that I'm trying to do in regards to the Utopian baseball universe is try to not use any of the same verbiage that other sports do. Like, I don't have a Cy Young Award winner. I just say most valuable pitcher. I don't have a World Series. I have a Utopian Championship Series. I didn't want to use Final Four because everyone, it seems like, uses that now. How I came up with the table was, I think I was hungry that day. And I was probably sitting at a table, and I don't know. I just
Well, my theory was it's like when people played Beatles albums backwards to get the clues and everything. I was thinking about that because every day I'm reading about the table, the table, the table. So I'm saying, okay, why is it the table? Is it because the table has 4 legs? It's because you have things branched out geographically. So each table is pointing, corner of the table points to a different direction geography wise. So I was coming up with all these concepts, and I thought maybe I nailed one of them so far, but as like a creative genius usually does, it just popped into your head, I guess.
Well, to be honest, the 4-leg thing did pop into my head after I came up with it, but that wasn't one of the reasons. I think it was just imagining if each team was let's say you have a reservation at a nice restaurant, and you have these 4 teams that have worked all year to get here, and now they've earned in my head like a spot at this prestigious table. So I'm not exactly sure again what brought it on, but as I was just saying things out loud, like, all right, what sounds good here? I don't want to, again, I don't want to say Final Four. What would be unique? What isn't being used? And as I would say it in, I guess, promos in my head saying like, all right, the Blue Jays are at the table awaiting, another team. It just made sense. And I don't know, hopefully one day it sticks. And when people think of that phrase, they think of the last 4 teams in the Utopian baseball universe. But the one thing I'm not crazy about is in the previous round, the Division Championship Series, each one had, particular branding. So, Braves and Bulls was the South Division, Reds and Indians North. And then once I get to this round, I just refer to the entire round as the table. So the way I would, I guess, market it tomorrow is say, okay, Braves and Bulls at the table, or Braves and Blue Jays at the table, 8 a.m., Reds and Padres at the table, 3 o'clock. But I don't know. I mean, some people have told me they liked it. Some people have said I don't get it. But yeah, Nothing real, or no real big reason other than I just like, I guess, how it sounded coming out of my head.
No, it's cool. Once it sticks in your mind, you're going to think about it. And I guess you're invited to the table if you're one of the four best teams too. So
Exactly.
I like it. I like it. It'll catch. Just have to, stick with it all these years and people will catch on with it. I like it. I actually do like it. And it made me think, why is it the table? So it's
I
got some
appreciate
mystique
it.
behind it.
Yeah, we have. It's unique because last year we had the four teams that made the table last year were all, I guess, what you would consider original major league teams. One of the original 16: Yankees, Reds, Dodgers, and Braves. And this year, the Braves and Reds are back. They were our championship series last year, so we have a chance to see that again. But it is kind of refreshing to see two expansion teams join them: the Toronto Blue Jays, who joined the league in '77, and then the Padres. I think joined the league in '69, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's going to be fun. There's actually a gentleman in this group back in March when we were doing all of our team preview shows, and I think I'm remembering this correctly. And I was asking people like, as they were coming in, who are your favorite teams? Who are you rooting for? And there's a gentleman named Al Harvey, and I believe his two favorite teams are the Blue Jays and Padres. And yesterday he was like, "Oh, Blue Jays Padres would be perfect." So we know at least one member of the universe is rooting for that. I think we're going to have a handful of people that want to see the rematch because the Braves won it last year, but the Reds were the top team in the universe this year. Unfinished business. Um, I think either way. I actually, in my head, I was imagining all four, and I think all four possible matchups bring intrigue to it. So we've actually grown the group in the last just couple days by 11 people, and I don't know, maybe the buzz is out. The fact that you can see every inning on the network, the simulcast between Facebook and YouTube, it's exciting. I don't know. Did you catch any of the action on Wednesday, Stan?
I wanted to, but Wednesday was just a horror show for me, work wise. It's been a rough week, so I've just been following the updates. I wish I could have, and one day I hope to maybe go back in some of the YouTube. I know it's all archived on YouTube and check some of that out. Just that when it rains, it pours for me. But it's not because I didn't want to. I did want to. But like I said, the beauty of this is it is archived, and if I did want to watch it, it's there for me. So uh, didn't mean to disappoint you on that respect. My heart was there, but I just couldn't be there physically. So, but
That's
I
okay.
hope to check some of it out.
Well, Wednesday, I mean, you can actually hear it in my voice. My voice cracks pretty much at the end of both games. Wednesday was without a doubt the most exciting day we've ever presented here in the universe. It was the game 5, the deciding game between the Indians and Reds, and then game 4 between Durham and Atlanta. So, as Stan mentioned, both games are archived. If you're new to the group or haven't seen it yet or have watched it already, my friend Richie Lunt will agree. Both games were just unbelievable. And, they're not full 3-hour games. You can probably watch each in about 40 minutes. I think one of them went 11 innings. The other just was just dripping in drama. And hopefully we see a lot more of that again as the Braves and Blue Jays and the Reds and Padres start their series tomorrow. Game 1, 8 a.m., Braves and Blue Jays, and 3 o'clock Saturday. The times for the table series are going to fluctuate based on work, and I have a wedding this weekend. But once the championship starts, all of those games will be at 7:30 Eastern when that series starts. And I don't have the exact date in front of me, but everything should wrap up by about October 27th or so.
Yeah, I did see your video spots on your Facebook group page after that day of action. You were so pumped. Like, you have to see this. You have to see this. So I can't imagine what went on. So I will have to check that out. So it's good when you were telling us about what was happening without telling us what happened. So that was
Exactly.
good.
And actually, when I after I think the first game was Braves Bulls. After it happened, I went on, like Stan said, I said, you guys got to check this out. And, I kind of, I mean, you can tell by the headline who had won. And Richie texted me. He's like, just say it was the greatest game ever. You don't have to say what happened. That'll get them there. And I agreed with him. So after the Reds Indians game, I just said, guys, go watch this. You have to see this. And then about an hour later, I posted the headline. But yeah, really exciting games. Yesterday's game 5 was very good as well. But Wednesday the 6th will go down as probably the most exciting day that we've ever presented here in the Utopian baseball universe. All right, you can see Stan wearing his Mets cap. I'm wearing my Brewers cap today. Stan, what is the buzz in the New York, New Jersey area about who's going to be managing or even running the Mets in 2022? I know Theo's out.
Yeah, Theo came and went within a day. It was amazing. Everyone thought that he was going to be the leading candidate, and now he's out. But it changes from day to day, and they got all kind of names out there. I mean, even like ex-Met players that are under consideration per the media, but you can't always go by what the media has because they have click and bait articles all the time. So who it is, I think Billy Beane is probably their leading candidate right now. But from what I hear, Billy has some kind of a sweetheart deal with Oakland where he's actually part of ownership. So he gets paid very handsomely by being an owner, and that they gave him ownership stakes. So I don't know if the Mets, I don't know if Steve Cohen wants to get someone tied in who's going to be running the ball club, also be on the ownership side. That remains to be seen. But they do have to go for someone who, this is my own personal belief, has to believe in old school Met baseball where it's pitching and you bring people up to the farm system. And that's how you win. I mean, just look at Tampa Bay. They're the perfect example. They made shrewd trades, not the biggest blockbuster trades, but more importantly, they've developed a lot of ball players through their farm system. And even the Dodgers, with all the money they've spent, how many of their players are through their farm system? So, like I said, the one thing you don't want to do is give up your. We got some good guys supposedly in the farm system now. So hopefully they stick to that philosophy that you build from within and don't spend money like drunken sailors on a weekend. That's the only guy that I'm really looking forward to, is to make it an organization, because I always say that the players that you're going to bring into promise in the long run are the ones you cultivate through your own farm system. For some reason, I'm not a big fan of free agents. Yeah, I think sometimes it helps win one pennant a year, but does it continue on with a winning organizational model? I'm not so sure. But that's all. I have no idea. I'm like everybody else here who that may be for manager, who that may be for general manager. But it looks like they definitely wanted the manager gone, because that didn't take long. As soon as the season was over, he was told, watch the door behind you as he was going out. So they definitely want a different approach. What it is, I have no idea. Anyone in particular you would be looking for either way, for manager or general manager?
Well, the name that I'm hearing, actually, obviously Billy Beane's name is being mentioned, and I think that would end up being a package deal if Beane were to come. Obviously, I think he brings Melvin, but the other name I'm hearing, because I live here, is David Stearns. David Stearns runs the Brewers, and actually, I believe the Mets asked Milwaukee for permission to talk to Stearns last year, and they said no. But I'm hearing they're probably going to ask again. I actually read something really interesting last night, and I don't know, again, what the source was, if it's credible or not. The idea of the Mets offering, I guess they have a catcher in their farm system. I don't know if he's like top 5 or top 10 prospects
If
in the
you're
league.
talking about Alvarez, he's there.
Yeah.
He can hit like hell too, and he's good defensively. So if he's being involved as bait to get Stearns, I mean, it'd be interesting to see if they give him up, because this may be the best hitting prospect they've ever had as a catcher in the minor leagues. But again, you don't know until they get to the major leagues. So that would be interesting if something like that's happening.
And I can't think. I've heard of managers being, quote, traded or whatever, but I've never heard of a prospect being traded for a general manager. So I think that would be unique in Major League history. And I know as a Brewers fan that the Stearns hire for the Mets would be amazing. Because, I mean, look at what the Brewers have done. In their first, let's see, this team goes back to 1970. So from 1970 to 2007, so for 38 seasons, we had two postseason berths, 81 and 82. And then since 2008, we were there in 8, 2011, and under Stearns the last 4 seasons. I'm not sure how many major league teams. I would imagine the Dodgers are one of them, and possibly the Yankees have been in the postseason the last 4 seasons. It's unreal. The Mets have never been to the playoffs 3 straight seasons, and the Brewers have 4 straight. So I think Stearns would be interesting. I haven't heard other names as far as general manager, but as far as manager, I think you and I would both agree it's got to be this time around someone that has experience and has done it before and has won a little bit. So Melvin makes sense. Buck Showalter's name's been thrown out there. One name that I haven't seen on any of these, they're interested type things is Mike Scioscia. I think would be a good fit. I know he broke our hearts in 1988, so he owes us,
Yeah, well, he managed. I think he managed the Olympic team to a gold medal. I think. Or was it this year? He was the manager, and they went to silver. I forget. But yeah, Mike Scioscia is a well-respected baseball man. But yeah, my top choice would be Bob Melvin. And as far as David Stearns concerned, yes, he would. After all the dust settled, it seemed like Stearns was number one on their radar. So I think they would be willing to make some type of deal, and that's been discussed in the media outlets here that the Mets would probably have to give up something. But Alvarez would be a pretty big give up for general manager. So I'm not sure if that's the route they're going to go on that, give up a big prospect. I would rather give up an everyday player. That's usually been the norm that's already established in the major leagues. So someone that could probably fill a bill. I mean, Milwaukee's talented. Milwaukee is the perfect example of what the Mets could be. I mean, you have that starting rotation the way they are right now, and that's the way you win these days. I mean, they're a threat in the playoffs because of the fact they have those 3 starters and a great bullpen and everything going in there. And in the long run, that's how you're going to win a World Series. And you can annihilate teams like the Yankees do or the Red Sox do every year offensively and win your 100 games, 95 games. But in the playoffs, it comes down to pitching. So, and I think we'll see this year's World Series winner be one of the teams that has great pitching. So that's why, in a way, I'm kind of picking my table as either consisting of Tampa Bay, the Dodgers, Milwaukee, or Houston. Chicago has a great rotation. They have a great bullpen too. And the only reason why I don't include the White Sox on my table, I think eventually they will be the most talented team in the American League, and they probably are right now, just due to the inexperience factor. I think sometimes you have to suffer a little defeat to really get your act together and start clicking. I think they're running into a team this year with Houston that has a lot of chip on their shoulder, and they've been a core element now for a while. And I think they're hungrier. And I think on paper, it's probably an even matchup. I think Houston just has the veteran leadership right now and the past experience of playing in the playoffs to knock off the White Sox. But those would be my 4 teams. And like I said, in the beginning of the year, I had the Yankees and the Dodgers. So the Yankees are gone. But my second team after that was the White Sox. But I still think Astros have a chip on their shoulder for whatever reason. I don't know what it is, but they just seem like they want to win it. And after the Dodgers, the Brewers would probably be my second choice just due to pitching, although they have to get past San Francisco, and that's going to be one hell of a series. So I don't know who your table would be right now, but that would be my table.
So, I mean, there's there's a difference between like who I'm rooting for and who I think is going to win. But in looking at some of these series, Astros, White Sox, my preseason prediction was the Mets and White Sox, so I'm sticking with the White Sox here. Rays and Red Sox, I think the Rays are going to win, but traditionally there's a family tie to Boston, so it's hard for me to root against the Red Sox in a series like this. Dodgers Giants, I think I'm just watching it. I think, is this the first time in history that we have two 105 win teams
Yes, it is.
facing in this round? I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
I guess if I had to choose, I'm gonna root for the Giants just to do something different. Although the Giants have won 3 championships in the last 11 years, and then obviously I'm rooting for the Brewers over the Braves. Of note in this series, it's the Braves' first postseason game in Milwaukee since the 1958 World Series.
Wow.
When they faced the Yankees.
Wait, can you run that by me again?
Sure.
First.
So the Atlanta Braves today are playing their first postseason game in Milwaukee.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So it's going to be interesting. Now, you've accused me of this in the past before, and you've been correct on saying it. You've actually already answered my 5 questions. So I don't.
How does it feel there, Bucko?
I know, I'm such a jerk. I'm going to improvise though. You're not off the hook. We're going to give you 5 bonus questions. The questions basically were going to be who do you have in each series, who do you have taking it. But we're gonna do, instead of a division series, 5 questions. We're gonna change it up. I can't even use these graphics anymore. But here we go. 5 questions for Stan. Now that we know his major league picks, we're gonna have Stan make his Utopian Baseball Universe picks. The first question is who's going to win between the Braves and Blue Jays series starting tomorrow, 8 a.m.
Well, it sounds like you have a big Blue Jay. I'm going to go with the public. It sounds like someone really wants the Blue Jays in there. Now, I know you did polls on who wants to win. So I'm going to side. I'm a people person. I'm all for democracy. So I really have no stake in any of these 4 teams. So I'm going to ask you to enlighten our viewers. Who was the more popular choice with the 2 teams?
Well, when we did our polls for the previous round, it was by far the Blue Jays. Blue Jays, I think, had 7 out of 9 votes versus Washington. The Braves-Bulls series was pretty even. I think it was Bulls 5-3. So I'd imagine that the Blue Jays are going to win that poll. We're going to actually post those later today. Question number 2 is Padres or Reds?
Well, the Reds would be a returnee, wouldn't they? So I always like to see that to establish some dynasty, because when you look back in baseball, we always remember who wins the World Championships. But the teams that can do it in multiple years, make it to the dance, the finals, the table, whatever you want to call it, are the ones that are legendary. You can go like in MLB in the 70s, you had the Reds, the A's, the Yankees. People remember the mini dynasties more so. So the Reds already were powerful in the 70s. Why not in the Utopian universe in the 20s? So I'm going to go with the Reds on that one.
All right. And then of those remaining 4 teams, who's going to win it all? Who's winning the series between the I guess it would be the Braves and Blue Jays, Padres and Reds? Which of those 4 teams do you see walking out with a championship in season 2?
Well, again, this is emotional me speaking. Since a lot of fans like the Blue Jays, I'll root for them to make it to the final 2. Now, does the final 2 have its own nickname, or is it just?
So we call our, I guess, World Series, I just simply call the Utopian Baseball Universe Championship Series.
Okay, you mentioned that before. And I'd like to see the Reds in there, but since I'm a National League guy, I'll go with the Reds on this one.
All right. Question number 4. I read this in, I think it must have been Facebook or Twitter yesterday. Have you heard that Pepsi is introducing a baseball themed flavor? That's all right. That's question number 4. Have you heard what the flavor is?
No, I have not. No,
All
I
right.
haven't.
So
I'm unaware of this altogether.
I'm going to share it with you. So question number 4 is, have you heard it? The answer is no. I asked my mom the same question yesterday. I said, okay, Pepsi is introducing a baseball themed flavor. You want to guess what it is? And she said nachos. It's not nachos. They are introducing Cracker Jack flavored Pepsi, but the catch is it's not going to be available to buy in stores. You have to go to Twitter or TikTok and sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" and then tag the whatever their marketing slogan is. And I think that starts today. So the question is, would you try Cracker Jack flavored Pepsi?
I think I already have, because I've been at ball games or at home where I've actually dropped Cracker Jack in Pepsi, and it's not only does the Cracker Jack start tasting like Pepsi, it tastes like Pepsi Cracker Jack, but it's a unique experience. If you haven't tried it, try it at home. But kids out there, if you do this, make sure your parents are around, because when you drop the Cracker Jack inside a soda, it starts fizzing, and it's a unique experience. It's almost like watching, I don't know, popcorn pop, but even more unique in that regard. So I actually have tasted Cracker Jack that's been drenched with soda. So yes, I would try to see if it does capture that same unique taste as Cracker Jack that's already been deluged.
Always making Fridays fun here. When I do your show on Monday, we'll talk about the weekend with the Division Series and the Table Series kicking off. So as always, thank you to Stan. And again, no more games today, but at 4:15 Central, my guests will be Sal Tartaglia, Mark Mancini, and Marianne Castello. They have a show debuting in the Philadelphia market called Liberty Bell Smack. It's going to be a radio show. We're going to have them on to talk about it at 4:15 today. So check that out. And then I'll be with Stan again Monday at 7:30 on Baseball: A Way of Life. And again, if you're a member of this group and you're not a member of Baseball: A Way of Life, I don't have any time for you. Because this man right here, this guy, am I doing this right? This guy right here runs the finest baseball group on the planet, Baseball: A Way of Life. You have to check it out. I don't know why my voice is cracking here. It's like that Wonder Years episode.
You're so excited. You're so excited to say this. It's amazing. Either that or you're bullshitting, one or the other. But I do appreciate it.
Definitely check it out. So Stan, thanks again for being here. We'll see you again Monday. And everyone else in the universe, have a great weekend. We'll see you at 4:15 with the folks from Liberty Bell Smack.
Sounds good.
Take care. And we'll see you Monday, Stan.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
All right.